Hey guys, Pyker back, and we're playing Kerbal Space Program. I think I might have fixed my game. I did a lot of cleanup on my computer. I ran defrag. I did a bunch of stuff. I went to the settings of Kerbal Space Program and turned some stuff down and kind of messed around with a little bit of things here and there, but still didn't really lose any quality of the game because I definitely like the way it looks when it's all, brushed as high as it could go. Um, but I did mess with a little bit of you know some settings and whatnot, and it seems to have done something and made it a little bit smoother to run. So what we're going to do this episode is we're going to take the space station docking station up to the moon and put it in orbit around the moon. So whenever we take landers up there and pieces of base and all that fun stuff up there, we'll have somewhere to dock it all and transfer fuel and blah 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 and do all that fun stuff. Um, so we're gonna turn on our SAS and we're gonna throttle up right about right there ish, and we're gonna launch in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, and this thing tends to spin. I'm not exactly sure why it spins, but it has, for some reason, it likes to spin before it gets to altitude, I guess, or to get out of the first layer of the atmosphere. I don't know why it likes to spin, but as soon as we get down to one central thrust or engine, it should stop spinning. Right now, it is tilting in a way that I do not want it to. Tilt back over this way. And get rid of our solid rocket boosters here in a second. And now. And throttle up a little tiny bit. Just so we keep our speed. I'm actually going to tilt over just a tiny bit right now because I just think it'll be a good thing for some reason. We're going to lose those engines. Throttle up just a little bit more. This thing has a tendency to brake whenever I'm tilting it at more than 2/3 thrust. So I'm trying to very lightly, carefully tilt this thing over because it has a tendency to brake right in the middle for some reason whenever I start my gravity turn, which I don't want it to do. So, anyways, I don't even remember what I covered in the last video. Um, and I apologize for the last video being an hour and 5 minutes long, but I was trying to show you guys exactly what I was dealing with when it came to frame rates, which was god awful. And I sincerely apologize for that faux pas, I guess you could call it. But I kind of wanted to just explain what I was going through and why I couldn't figure out why the game wasn't running, the way it was like a week earlier. It was weird. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so we are going to try and get this thing to the moon. Stop wobbling. Stop wobbling. Yeah, turn on the light so you guys can actually see the thing. Um, oh, stop slowing down. I don't like it when you're slowing down. You can stop that now. Please stop slowing down. Come on. Looks like it's... There we go. Now it's starting to go back up. Sweet. Now I'm hoping that I'll have enough fuel to get this thing into orbit. Well, I'll have enough fuel to get it into orbit, but I'm worried about having thrust to get it into orbit because the next stage is the smallest engine that you can put on these big rocket or big fuel tanks. So, basically because once I get into orbit, it's useless to have a big, a lot of thrust because you really don't need it. So, the biggest problem right now that I'm running into is getting into orbit with this thing. I got the other one into orbit earlier. I showed you guys that space station in the last video. I know that much, anyways. But for some reason, I'm having trouble getting this thing into orbit, and I really don't like how it's wobbling right now. It's making me nervous. I'm waiting to get up to speed. I'm hoping that I didn't turn over too soon. But I'm going to keep right here until we get our apoaps up to a reasonable altitude, which 30,000 feet is not a reasonable altitude. So we might actually tip back to the left just a touch, just to get as much altitude as I can right now, because the more altitude I have, the better I'll feel, because it'll be easier to extend the orbit than it is to try to stop. You know, once I start coming back down, it's damn near impossible to stop it from doing that. But actually, what I'm gonna do is put some fuel into this guy, and hopefully that'll help. I'm gonna just wait. I'm basically gonna put all the fuel from this tank into the lower tank, so I can definitely get into orbit, and then whatever's left, I'll transfer back once I ditch this stage. So now we're looking a little bit better here. Let's tilt over a little touch, just a little bit, just a little bit. We just need to get up to orbital velocity, which is around 2.2 kilometers per second, which is fast. Sorry if I sound like crap too. I have a cough. I don't know where I got it from, but I have a feeling it's because it's getting extremely cold where I live right now, which is it's starting to drop below 30 degrees Fahrenheit at night right now. So winter is coming, which I love winter, but I would rather it be winter all the time than summer. I despise. It's not that I despise summer. I just love winter. It's quiet. There's no bugs. You don't get hot. You can get cold, but it's a lot easier to warm yourself up than it is to cool yourself down, in my opinion, anyways. All right, let's cut that engine for right now, and we'll wait until I get to our apoaps. And actually, we'll ditch this stage right now, so we'll take the rest of the fuel, which isn't much, but we'll take the rest of it and put it in this guy, and then we'll ditch that stage, and we will. That should be open. Yes, all right. So I'm gonna wait, and probably right about where we're at now, and we're gonna throttle back up here and extend this a little bit more. Now, I hope I didn't just make a huge mistake, which I don't think I did, but I could be wrong. I might have just screwed that whole thing up, because that would be what I would do for some reason. I am very good at screwing things up like that. But right now we have plenty of fuel. Now the question is whether or not we have enough thrust to get up to orbital velocity, which I am hoping we do. We are definitely getting closer to our apoaps, which is not the best thing in the world. But if we can get to 2,000 or 2 kilometers per second velocity, we should be okay. And right now we're gaining it, but it's not gaining nearly as quickly as I'd hoped it would be. So if I don't get this into orbit, I'm gonna have to. Whoa! I definitely got off axis here. What's going on? Let's see if we can correct that real quick. Is that correcting it? I can't tell. It should be. Nope, it's making it worse. I'm going north. Why wasn't I just looking at the nav ball? That could have told me. So let's point that back down. Turn on RCS so I can actually steer this thing. Be helpful. Let's straighten this just a touch out, because it just make it easier getting to the moon. Ooh, didn't want to do that. Go back this way. Straighten up. There we go. That looks better. Now are we gaining? Oh, nice. Perfect. We got it. We should be in good shape. Now we just need to tilt over. Just a touch. Try to gain some more velocity. And we're going to take all the fuel out of this guy and put it in here. Ooh, probably shouldn't have done that. But it's okay. Out. In. It's funny, if you guys are noticing, I am tilting in odd ways whenever I'm dumping the fuel out of these exit, or the outer fuel tanks, which is funny to me. I think that's actually really cool that it matters if your space shuttle or your spacecraft is symmetrical in weight. I guess would be the terminology that I was looking for. So anyways, we are looking good apoapse wise. So we're going to tilt all the way over to the side and try to stop gaining altitude at the moment and start gaining speed so we can get into orbit, which we shouldn't have any trouble getting to orbit because we have plenty of fuel. Even if we need to, I can ditch this stage. Actually, no, I can't ditch that stage. But anyways, if I would have ditched that stage, that would have been very bad because this thing doesn't have an engine on it. I don't even know why I was thinking of doing that. It was stupid. But I can't do it through my staging because it's a docking port, which is awesome. So I couldn't have screwed that up even if I tried. I'd have to have really tried to screw that up. We're going to get to our apoapse, and we're going to thrust up a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm getting a lot better frame rates right now. And I don't know exactly why it's working so much better now. I did no clue. Not a clue at all. But hey, whatever. I'm not going to complain. Alright, so now we are in orbit. So what I really want to do is probably rendezvous with our space station and take some fuel from it, just to basically make sure that we have a full tank of fuel when the space station is actually out there. I want this tank right here to at least be half full or 3/4 of the way full because it's gonna be the space station out at the moon, so I want it to have fuel in it. So whenever we do get a lander out there, it'll actually serve a purpose instead of just looking pretty. So we are going to adjust our nodes here and get on a clean plane with the current space station, which shouldn't be too difficult. 0.1, still 0.1. Still 0.1. Still 0.1. Are you gonna ever change? Now it's 0.3. I'm so confused. Alright, we'll just go with that for right now. So we are going to find that node. And we actually are in a very low orbit, so we should be able to catch up with our space station while we're screwing around with getting aligned. Anyways, we have plenty of RCS fuel. We have plenty of actual fuel in the tanks. Now, the only question I really am thinking about is how I'm going to dock to our space station, because there is a fuel tanker on the docking node, because I was originally thinking about docking just underneath it and doing it that way, which I might be able to still do, but I don't think it would be the best idea, honestly. Basically because this thing is part on our space station right now. So I was thinking about just docking the top part to the bottom of this same exact module and doing it that way. But the only thing I have is I have these struts holding all four of these together, and the refueling tanker that's hooked up there would have to go in between one of these, and it would break that strut, which I don't want to do. So I'm probably going to end up having to hook up somehow onto one of these, or I can get it within close proximity of the space station and take the fuel tanker off of the space station and attach it to this docking station and refuel it that way, which is actually a way better idea, and I might probably end up doing that. So anyways, we're going to fast forward to our node. It's about a 7-second burn. I don't remember what I said last time. I want to say I was getting like 2 frames per second, and right now I'm getting 20, which is not great, but it's 10 times better than 2 frames per second, I can tell you that much. So we're going to adjust this real quick, and almost there. We're going to cut them now and get a little more accurate with the thrusting here. Get as close as possible. Perfect. Get rid of this node, and I guess we're just gonna fast forward until we can get to our space station, or remotely close to our space station. Granted, I can't fast forward faster than 50 times acceleration, but that's better than 10 times acceleration or 4 times acceleration, anyways. So we're just gonna float around Kerbin in a pretty. You know what actually might be a good idea before I screw this up? Oh, because I probably just did. Huh, I still have a lot of electric charge. Hmm. We're going to extend our solar panels just to be safe. Because I don't trust that for some reason. I don't even know why. Yeah, whatever. So we should be able to be getting into an area where we can actually meet up with our space station. Let's see here. That's closest approach, 73 kilometers. Ooh, that's looking good. Ooh, what about there? 2.3. I've been getting a lot better at freaking rendezvousing with things, which is awesome. Uh, so yeah, we got a zero point 0.9 kilometer rendezvous, or the closest approach with our space station. So we're gonna actually, I might be able to dock this one to that space station, but I don't know. We'll have to see when we get there. I don't really know exactly how well I'm going to be able to do that, so I'm going to just wait and see until you can actually see the space station and see what we can do. Because if I can just get it within close proximity of the space station and undock the refueling module, then I'll just do that because it'll probably be safer, honestly. Um, so we're going to get lined up on our node. It says it's about a 6-second burn, which is awesome. Um, So yeah, sorry about the last episode. That was like my like almost like when I was recording it, it felt like it was my farewell episode for some reason because I was just really worried that I wasn't be able to get this game to run smoothly again, and I'd have to wait until I could do something about it. And by do something about it, I mean get a new computer, which I'm going to anyways. But I still wanted to record some episodes and um, you know have fun with it. I really like this game. This game is awesome. I've also been playing GTA 5 like religiously because that game is amazing. So if you don't have it, go get it. It's awesome. Um, I've just been playing I've played every single GTA all the way back to when it was overhead in the 90s for PS1. I was playing GTA, so I had to get GTA 5. I mean, it just felt like I was obligated to almost. Um, so, anyways, we are going to start our burn. Slow that down a little bit. All right. That seems like it should be pretty close. 0.2 kilometers. I can deal with that. I can deal with that. That's not a big deal. Ooh, back to 2 frames per second again there. I was getting really worried, but now we're back up. Sweet. So where is the space station? We should be catching up with this, so it should be in front of us. It can't be that far. I guess it isn't that far in front of us. Huh. All right. Well, we'll just wait. Fast forward until we can see it. So we can judge when we should start slowing down. Dun, dun, bum, 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 bum. Slow that down right now. There it is, 24K away. Alright, so let's fast forward. We're only going 50 meters per second in comparison to our target, which is awesome. So we should be coming up next to it pretty close and slowly enough that we should be able to make adjustments, no problem. And actually, we're starting to speed up again, so I'm going to face the retrograde node so we don't blow past this thing at 100 meters per second. So anyways, that should do it right there. So let's fast forward. Slow it down to a 10. wait till we get to about 2,000 or 2 kilometers away rather, or roughly 2 kilometers away. So right about here, we're gonna start slowing down just a touch, so we can actually get a little bit closer to this thing. And actually, we might be able to do it this way too. I don't really know. Which way is that going? Okay, so we need to go this way so we can get closer. Let's go that way. Like so. So we can get the retrograde marker over on top of the opposite end of the target marker. We should be able to get real close to it. And instead of having to stop completely, adjust, and then fly towards the thing, we should be able to fly. We just adjusted it basically, so we basically corrected the course so it would get a little bit closer to the space station, which is fine. Ruh-roh. Starts. Well, ship is under acceleration. How am I under acceleration? There we go. Okay. So we should be getting really close to this thing. We're not going fast either, so we have plenty of time to correct if we need to. Okay, so let's get like 100 meters away from the thing. And then my frame rate has dropped significantly since I've gotten close to the space station. It's probably because there's so many damn parts on it right now that it's just killing my performance, which is not cool, bro. But I did build quite a big space station, I guess. I mean, it's not huge, but it's got a lot of stuff on it. So, whatever. But we're going 8.5 in relation to our target. 8.5 meters per second, which is fine. So we should be able to get there, you know, in a reasonable amount of time. We're actually probably going to do what I said we were going to do. So we're actually going to come to a stop here shortly. I don't want to say I want to stay 300 meters away from it, but I do want to stay at least 100, so I have room to maneuver things. So make sure the fire's still going. Anyways, so we're gonna try to come to a halt here and undock our refueling module and refuel this entire thing, and probably empty that refueling module, and actually probably send that thing back into the atmosphere so we can recover it. Because if it's empty, there's no reason for it to be up here. All right, so we are roughly stopped in relation to our space station. So I'm going to point this guy north. Point it this way anyways. All right. Now we have a little bit of time to do this. So we're going to keep that right there. Switch over to our, oh, there we go. Let's say control from here and undock. We're going to back away. Oh, wrong way. And there we go. Back away from our space station. And we're going to put our way over to the other space station. Which, yes, I know this is redundant, but hey, what you gonna do? Not an H, I want an N. There we go. Maybe that'll make this thing run a little bit smoother, the fact that we're getting rid of this refueler station. I might actually just cut out the refueler station whenever I have to actually refuel things. Just to, you know, I don't know, just to make it a little bit easier. I don't want H. Stop pushing H. I want to go down, not up. So anyways, we're going to stay facing north, and we're going to actually just move the whole dang thing over. I don't actually know how much monoprop I have, so I have 150. That should be plenty to get to where I'm going. So we want to go this way, and we want to go that way. Perfect. So we're going to try to get this over to our docking station that's going to the moon, and refuel it completely. And then we're going to deorbit this guy and get it back to the surface of Kerbin. And then I'll probably cut into next episode, and that would be the episode that we'll actually take the space station out to the moon, set it up in orbit, and maybe even get a lander out there too, which wouldn't be a terrible thing. So we're going to actually set one of these guys as a target, and I can't see it. Clicky, clickety, click. Clickety, click, click. Oh, almost had it. Oh, oh, come on. There it is. There we go. Set that as target. And we want to go forward. I don't like how this does that, but hey, what you gonna do? We're gonna try to get this thing over to over to the other space station. This is actually a lot more difficult than I anticipated it to be, but we should be able to get there. As long as the two space stations don't collide with one another while we're doing this, we'll be fine. Which is basically exactly what I'm worried about the most, actually. In case you guys were wondering. That way. Stop going down. Start going over. This thing is, I don't know why it's so tipsy whenever I'm messing with these things. Oh, that's why I don't have SAS on. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'm an idiot. Don't worry about it, guys. Alright, so we need to go this way. We need to go up. Even if I can get remotely close. I'm actually coming in pretty quick, so I'm going to start slowing down here. Even if I don't care which one I dock to, I just need to dock this thing. Alright. Now we should be able to float into place. I'm hoping we should be able to float into place. I can actually see the target node and the prograde node, so I'm kind of in the general direction where I need to be. So we're going to actually Alt and speed up just one. That's why I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you press Alt and time warp with the greater and less than markers, you can actually do 1 through 4 instead of 1 through 5, like immediately. So you can time warp, but you won't time warp to the point where you're like, oh crap, like I didn't want to do it that long, or whatever, which is actually awesome. Which I accidentally found out that I could do. I wasn't expecting to be able to actually do that, but hey, whatever. I'll take it. I'm not complaining. All right, now it says we're coming in quickly. I need to slow down. All right, sweet. Let's give it a couple bumps up so I can see what the hell I'm doing. And line everything up. Hopefully. Oh, there we go. Sweet, we're docking. Come on, connect, connect, connect. Turn off the SAS. Connect, connect. Sweet, we are connected. Awesome. Now let's take all the fuel out of this thing and put it in here. Because we can probably actually deorbit that refueler with the monoprop or RCS. We shouldn't have any problem actually doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to refuel this space station. We're going to literally take as much fuel as we can fit into this thing in here. And then we're going to deorbit our refueler. And then we're going to fly our space station out into orbit around the moon. So anyways, and then actually what we'll probably end up doing is we'll keep some fuel in this guy. And we'll decouple these once we're out at the moon, and then we'll fly this thing back and deorbit it as well. Just to make sure that we don't leave any space debris or space junk out there. I honestly don't know how long this video or this episode is run, so we might actually just refuel this, cut this episode, and the next episode we'll get this thing out to the moon and do all that fun stuff. So, alright, so this doesn't have any more fuel in it. It should have enough monoprop to get us out of orbit. As long as it has over 100, we should be okay. And it has just barely over 100, which, that's good. So we should be able to deorbit no problem. Now, my only concern is if these two space stations collide, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So we might actually, we're going to undock this guy. Turn off everything on this space station. Turn that off. Retract our solar panels. Actually, we're probably going to get close to our other space station and might even just dock, just so I can be sure that the damn thing won't crash. They won't crash into each other, because I'm actually extremely worried about that. So we're going to set that as a target and control from here, and then we are going to attempt to dock with this space station. Now, the fact of the matter is that both of these space stations have a lot of parts. We might end up just crashing the game right here, which I don't want to do, but I really would. I would rather. Actually, you know what? We're gonna quick save just to be sure, and we're going to get over to our space station. We should have plenty of monoprop fuel to do this as well. I'm hoping that I can do this. One thing I do know, though, is that the thing is facing north, so I can point this guy as such and be in perfect position to dock. So we're going to do that. Put this right here. And we are going to time accelerate so we can get close to the space station in a reasonable amount of time. I apologize if this episode is long as well. I'm not exactly sure how long it is, but we'll see. So we're gonna try to get close to this damn thing. Alright, so we're going to go down. I'm going to go over. That's not the over that I want. I don't think, anyways. That's the over I want. Alright, now let's try that. See if we can float in here slowly and connect these two. which we should be able to do without too much of a hassle. Where's that refueler? Okay, refueler's still out there. Good. Dun, 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 dun. I really don't want to like play this game and then do a post commentary. I like being able to do it live because if I screw up, you can actually see my reaction and how pissed I get. Oh, jeez. All right, so what's going on here? Well, we're looking pretty good right now. I mean, we're not lined up at all whatsoever, but that's fine as long as we're getting remotely close to this thing, which we will be shortly. Sorry, I don't want to go flying at this thing, so I'm doing this slowly because my frame rate has dropped exponentially, I guess would be the word, since I started getting closer to this space station. So we're going to connect these two, and then we're going to deorbit our refueler, and then we're going to cut this episode, and in the next episode we're going to get this piece out to the moon, and maybe even a lander out there too, with some crew. But right now we're just worried about this. All right, let's slow that down, because we're starting to come in above where I want to be. So we're going to adjust like so, and press N once, and fast forward again. Once you rendezvous a bunch of times, it gets really, really easy to start actually rendezvousing with things. The easiest way I've found is to get a close approach with the maneuver nodes, and then basically bring your speed to a halt when in relation to the target that you're going for. So basically, you just are hovering near the thing, and then you just point right at it with your nav ball and fly towards it. And then it seems, I mean, if you could, I mean, you could fly right at it no matter what. But if you can, I mean, it's all about fuel consumption basically. So if you want to avoid using a lot of fuel, you can. That's not what I want to be doing. Come to a halt. Press H. What's going on here? Which way do I need to be going? Let's spin this guy like this. Maybe that'll help me. Nope, it's backwards now. Damn it. H again. Get close. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now I'm hoping this will work. It should. But I am extremely scared. In case anybody was wondering. We are getting close though. Do that. I really don't want this thing to jerk around. So I'm only going 0.1 meters per second. That should dock. Or I might just bump into it and start the space station into a spin, which I wouldn't be surprised if I did that. Oh, wrong way. Let's go this way. Kind of like I just did. Try to slide this puppy right on there. There we go. She's docking. Turn off the RCS and SAS. And let the thing just dock. Maybe. Might be wobbling too hard. Come on, connect, connect. Just connect already. Oh, for the love of Pete. Just connect. Alright, otherwise, if I don't do anything about this, it's just gonna keep wobbling. There we go. Alright, we're connected. Sweet. So we can leave that guy, go to our refueler, and point this guy directly at the ground. Well, not directly at the ground, but point it at retrograde. And then just freaking use our SAS and get this guy to deorbit, which shouldn't be too difficult. If I can get it into, if I can get the periaps into, roughly into like 30,000 feet, we should be able to bring it down pretty easily, actually. This is a very long and irritating process. Now I'm questioning, the question I have actually right now is if I can time accelerate, and I need to clickety so I can keep seeing the periapsis. Thank you. Turn on the freaking SAS because I keep wobbling. If I can time accelerate but still use my RCS fuel with the Alt one. So let's see if we can do that. Sweet, we can. That's awesome. So we can actually do this a lot quicker than we would if we couldn't do that. So all we're going to do is bring our periaps down into roughly 30,000 feet. Well, roughly 30,000 meters, I guess would be the word. So we can use the atmosphere to slow us down even more. And then we will get this thing on the ground, hopefully in one piece. So we're going to get down to 30,000. That's good enough. And get out of map view and slow this guy down and fast forward it again. And wait until we start hitting the atmosphere. Which will bring our apoaps down, which will then turn into our periaps, which should put us roughly in the neighborhood of the space center. I hope. But this is the slow part, unfortunately, guys, and I apologize if this episode is extremely long, but it shouldn't be. It should be like half an hour, roughly. I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. We shall see. But if you notice, we are starting to get drag through the atmosphere by right here. I mean, I'm just like barely any drag through the atmosphere, but it is bringing down our apoapses and slowly bringing down our periaps. So the whole thing should just start turning, and the periaps should end up roughly around the Kerbal Space Center. Now, whether or not that actually works is a completely different story, and I know I say that a lot, but I try things, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. So there is that. So, oh, no, we're coming down a little bit earlier. That's fine. I don't really have a problem with that, honestly. So we're at 34,000 feet. Where are my parachutes on this thing? Because I know I have them. I'm pretty sure I put parachutes on this thing, because if I didn't, that's kind of stupid, don't you think? I think I don't have parachutes. Huh. I thought I did. What do you know? Oh well. Well, this thing's going to crash into the ground. So we're going to switch back to... we can't... Whatever. So yeah, this is going to crash into the ground. So it's useless. I don't know why I even bothered doing this then. Whatever. I guess it's a good way to end the episode. So next episode, we're going to take our space station, docking station, to the moon, put it in orbit around the moon, and then we're going to take a lander. That might be next episode or the episode after that, but we're going to take a lander up to meet with our space station around the moon, and we're going to actually put some Kerbals on the surface of the moon, and it'll be a lot easier and a lot less traumatic, I guess you could say, to do that. So anyways, and boom. Done. Cool. Alright, so, yeah, next episode we're going to do that, and don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave comments, leave me ideas for certain things, cool stuff, I don't care. I like hearing from you guys. So, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you.